Libra to do your December 2023 reading. Happy to be here with you guys. I have a lot of amazing Libra people in my life, and I'm so grateful. Very generous and usually very fair and balanced, endeavoring that kind of generosity and balance. So here we are. I'm an intuitive reader, and all the info that you might want is in the description box below. Thanks for being here, liking, commenting. I appreciate all of you. Tuning into the energies for Libra, divine guidance and loving clarity. For Libra, divine guidance and loving clarity. There you are. Wow, very nice. So Libra, Queen of Swords, you're coming through really strong, very self-directed, feeling very masterful. So I feel like some of you are like intuitively sensing some new beginnings. They're not here just yet. Like you might be waiting until the new year, because this energy is directing you to walk away from one thing and just wait. And being it in December, obviously we often do have a bit of downtime, family time, time off work, etc., to just, ideally anyway, rest, power down through the depth of the winter season. The Hanged Man is often, it's major arcana, and to me it is a little bit of push-pull energetically. So it might not be that you want to be in Hanged Man, as in feeling just suspended, not quite sure which way to go. At the same time, there is a sort of contentment or even empowerment in that Hanged Man, because there's a sense of just be you and be knowing your mind. Because with the Hanged Man, it's a very focused sense of when you're inspired, when you're guided, when it feels truly aligned, then you move forward, then you take that new beginning. It's like when it's time to take the new beginning, or when you have that inspired idea, inspired thought, it will feel good. It will feel maybe a bit excited. However, it's the Four of Wands, so there's a celebratory element, but it is grounded. It's anchored in something that's established a pretty strong foundation, energetically speaking. So this is something that maybe you've been cultivating, you've been working on. So when that inspirational idea, when that idea, opportunity, a new thing kind of comes in, you'll be like, I know this. And then it's like seizing the opportunity to then step into something quite celebratory, fun. It's like getting to a certain stage of something pretty new, maybe 4 years, or I feel like it's more than 4 months, but it could be a short timeline for some of you, obviously. But there, a gestation period or something to take action to, I almost want to say consolidate or solidify or crystallize an idea in your mind. By the time you step into that desire, new beginning, a lot of the energetic pillars are already laid in place. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense, like on a kind of a manifestation on quantum physics level. So, and straight up, you'll recognize this because you've let stuff go. You've walked away from certain things, people, you've walked away, you've detached, you've released, you've maybe mourned even, right? There is a little bit of a sense of mourning with the Eight of melancholy. I would say Five of Cups would be more of a mourning or sorrowful energy. There's a bittersweetness and a melancholy to the Eight of Cups. And yet, with the Queen of Swords here directing the path forward, there is a sense of integrity, of and even integrated wisdom through the healing, through the letting go, right? Because a lot of the letting go stuff can be, in truth, letting go of parts of ourselves, letting go of things and dreams and wishes we once had that we no longer have. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wowzers. Woo. So this is like, for some of you, it could have been some time ago. So the parts of the things that you're letting go of or releasing were tower moments that happened, things that broke down. Maybe even changes you resisted to make that you now look back and think, okay, well, I resisted making that change. It created more chaos. So I'm not going to resist the change this time. I'm just going to let stuff go. I'm just going to walk away from certain situations that don't align anymore, don't feel good. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait to feel inspired. I'm going to wait to feel lucky and guided and fruitful, because you've got lining up before you get to this new beginning and celebratory, good, pretty positive energy with a groundedness, right? Not something ungrounded, not something superficial. It's more like the next phase of the long haul of manifestation. And so you're like focusing your mind on your joyfulness, your luck, your wish fulfillment, and the full creation and manifestation of it. So bearing in mind, energetically and or emotionally, mentally, in that sense of flow and alignment, you're allowing yourself as much time as you need, which is likely to even like let it drop in pretty quickly. Wow, it's another hanged man. So I'm hearing that message of like, of you'll know when you know. Some of you have walked away from opportunities that you just felt weren't really going anywhere, weren't going in the direction that you wanted, maybe didn't feel that abundant. It also could be a situation walking away from you. It could be a situation that I'm hearing messages like you didn't read quite right, or you both got as much as you could. The Knight of Pentacles here is in the reverse. So this situation maybe taught you stuff about adaptability, changeability. And then this Page of Wands, I'm thinking, is a lot to do with that sense of focus I was talking about. Like you getting really clear on what you're wanting to create, on how it feels, how that creative vision as you kind of feel into it, getting really clear. Some of you in this Hanged Man phase, some of you might be doing research. I'm gonna pull a few more cards. Hanged Man here, yeah. I mean, that's the most direct message I'm getting, is that the Hanged Man at the Page of Wands is you looking into things possibly during this phase. It's almost like, it's not quite sabbatical, it's not that long, but some of you are having a bit of a break from work, or certainly whatever you were involved in, were doing. There's a break, and again, December warrants that. Certainly in certain parts of the world we have time off for holiday mode, and you're looking into things, and it does possibly have to do with your empowerment, your healing. For some of you, I'm hearing something about underwater, and I'm seeing like snorkeling and doing underwater activities. So for some of you, this might be even like researching a trip. And then I'm also getting this message through the Page of Wands. I'm also getting a sense of like you're going, maybe part of that research is actually self-study, taking time to reflect. There's definitely here slowing down, a bit of retreat, allowing there to be the nothingness, allowing there to be that suspension of time, and really luxuriating your good feelings. 9 of Cups into 10 of Cups is like an amazing spread straight up. It's like it's a really positive energy because it's intermixed with some bittersweetness, with a bit of melancholy, with a bit of emotional releasing, reflecting on intense times that led you to be who you are now today, feeling lucky, feeling masterful in your mind. It's like overcoming, feeling into some sort of energetic, like a dream, a manifestation, a desire, because the Four of Wands is like a honeymoon card. It's an energy of balance, of communities coming together to create more. And this is again, like a honeymoon, this is a beautiful phase of openness and promise and creativity. Now we know, like, you feel into this new beginning, but I'm partly thinking, even another message here is like, for some of you, it's almost like the new beginning has already happened. This sense of joyful expansion and true grounded anchors for this creative evolution is in you. It's maybe not happening in the moment in your life, but it's almost like, as well, part of what I'm getting is like, it's like not even waiting for the new beginning, just feeling really good, feeling really happy about your life, feeling really grateful, feeling really joyful, feeling really lucky, feeling like you're, like, you know your mind, you know your worth, and you're like, I just gotta feel good. I just want to feel good. Yes, I've lost a lot, or towers have come down, things have not always worked out, etc. And part of the Hanged Man energy is signaling that sense of taking time to maybe look at yourself, go within to figure out where you are now, to what you want for your future, to what you, and again, that's dropping into the mental clarity via the feel good feelings. Because for some of you, there's almost a sense of like, I'm almost getting the sense like, some of you, it's not about, you don't want a new beginning. You're so joyful, contented, and happy with where you are. Yet that's part of the crux of like, not even having to restart anything necessarily, not even have to like go in a new direction or have some inspirational thought. You're literally just basking in the glory of your own feel good feels. And it's like sidestepping having to learn something new or go on this new venture, and just being in a more joyful community, being in a space where you're like, wow, I feel good. I feel great after walking away from stuff that wasn't serving me, after allowing myself the time to be in stillness and self-reflection. And then, so for a lot of you, I'm seeing dolphins here, crystals, inner voice. So that's part of the message coming through too. And I'm getting this to be quite a collective theme, but tuning in, right? Meditating, journaling, because part of this next phase of integrated wisdom is reclaiming the innocence of truth, reclaiming the innocence via your divine connection, senses, sinlessness or forgiveness supreme, right? And then bringing that into wholeness here now, knowing we've really shed, let go of lots of old things, and stepping into a truly abundant, joyful life. Very energetic. It's like through all of the death processes, through letting stuff go, and just going through, it's like the eye of the needle, or going through something so profound. I'm getting this weird message of conquering death from the Bardo. Conquering death and piercing a veil. For some of you, that's an aspect probably of the creative bounty that you're wanting to step into. You know, interesting. I'm coming to a halt. I'm coming to a bit of a stop here because, yeah, I feel like it's that dynamic around letting there be stillness, maybe some a bit of purging, or more just reflective releasing. So I feel like a lot of you have already done a lot of the emotional releasing. And then it has a lot to do with the steady focus on the feel good vibes and self-reflection. It's almost like just luxuriating in the good feels, trusting and knowing that it's going to land in your reality. There's not necessarily something you have to do or step towards. For some of you, there might be. Some of you is actually more about staying put and letting these energies sort of like filter in. Ooh, interesting. Yep. And honestly, it's kind of feeling that way too. Like this is sort of a destined unfolding, which makes me think like whether you're going to move into it or not, or whether you're going to go within and get the message, there will be a message that comes through that just shifts the perspective enough for you to be in this more joyful, integral, and kind of budding community, a growing essence of like a new life, but it's very whole. So there's a maturity to this creative endeavor. There's an integrated wisdom to me has an aspect of maturity, because you have to live a certain amount of life usually and go through certain cycles of life experience to integrate the wisdom. So to go through those cycles, learn the lessons, repeat the lessons usually, and then finally wrap it up. Like, and then once we see all those lessons and we really, really learn them, that layer level of consciousness of a perception window, that closes, as in that we leave that window of time behind, and we move and we become present, right? And that has a lot to do with the integrated wisdom, because in the presence of your own peaceful, expansive joyfulness, everything comes in. That's the like metamorphic aspect, or the idea of bending reality, living more in that quantum perspective. I am going to leave it there. I randomly, when I glanced up, saw 1717. So for some of you, you might want to look up 1717, or in fact an 8 and an 8. There is some powerful depth here, Libra, and some incredible lightness. And this lightness is something that you're working on being able to sustain, moving in. Like there's this sort of grounded slowness that's really opening up some beautiful creative energy and abundance that will probably feel really, really wonderful, really good. And again, whether you direct it, or it comes from within, or it comes from external, somehow there's a message that will kind of change the game, and then you'll be in the new, which could be in the new year, or kind of cycle again, like in the coming months as well. Oh, I just had a little tummy grumble there. Thanks, you guys. Thank you, Libra. I appreciate all of you so, so much. And let me know if that resonates with you. I look forward to seeing you in January 2024. And thank you all for supporting All to Love and the work I'm doing. It means so much to me after all these years. And I have Capricorn rising. And the more I learn about astrology, the more my own path resonates with me. And this sense of just like a disciplined, sticking with something and keeping at it. And truly the amazing people I've met through the online work over the years is like part of that, I guess, like the stamina that Capricorn will exhibit for us. Yeah, the stamina to keep going, and also the the people that help us to keep believing in ourselves as well. And regardless of when when we are having a less, I not just being really real with you guys, I plenty of times or phases of life where it's, for whatever reason, it can be challenging or difficult to show up, and not wanting to necessarily. I did this for years in my yoga teaching. I just set up classes, donation based, and even, no matter what, I'd show up because the class was open, and it kept me accountable. And eventually, even there'd be just one person, one regular person that kept, and eventually I was guided to India and, did all the formal stuff. And then, where am I wobbling on with this? Anywho, so for me, I'm a Saturn, I forget the word now, but Saturn ruled chart, because Saturn rules Capricorn. I could be wrong with something like that. So there's a huge part of my own path that's such very Saturnian, where my yoga career and also my tarot online entrepreneurship career, all of that, there was a great amount of discipline, basically. Like, just keep showing up, just keep showing up, just keep doing it, just keep doing it. Years and years of dedicated yoga practice with wonderful teachers, but that all was a kind of manifestation of my vision and like the daily grind, as it were. Not the grind in as far as going to an employer every day or going to a job I hate, but committing to my own self-development through a pretty tried and tested path, ancient, you know, a path that helps us be well and helps us be a little bit more grounded, centered, and present. And then the same with this, just keeping at it. And if it weren't for that, like, one yoga client who kept turning up to my original classes and then actually genuinely financially supported me going to India for 3 months to train, it's like, it's the same with this, like, y'all showing up and being kind, or just opening up to me. And that's created that sense of community, which to me was really what it's all about, no matter what. And then continuing with the readings and even the intuitive shares, because I really started with that. So anywho, I'm really waffling on, but as it's the holiday season, and I just really wanted to reflect how much appreciation and love I have for all of you, and the earnest outpouring, as a brand, as a company, as a whatevs, a mish, that in earnest, the Alta Love mission comes from a place of praying, wishing, hoping, believing that this world is more loving and more fair. And I've always had such a outpouring in my empathy for, the oppressed, the the neglected, the and I can see the multifaceted distortion that's based in that original disconnect. And yesterday I learned how to chop kindling with a really sharp axe. And part of the conversation was just like the simple things. And that here we are up in our heads waffling on about various constructs, identity constructs, which is cool as a human, that we can kind of disengage or use abstract thought as just like a fun thing to do. And yet it's going so far. And the whole learning how to chop wood was just that kind of sense of like, because often I can't engage with those debates because I just find them to be so like illogical or like ungrounded. And then I remember it's like, what we're dealing with is a true disconnection from reality, in a sense, is that so many of us in our world now don't know how to chop wood. I'm right there with you. With most of us is like not knowing where the food comes from. So for so many of us, it's just coming back to like cleaning our own homes and knowing what we own, and looking after our bodies, looking after those homes, and then maybe branching outside and looking after our gardens, and maybe learning how to grow food or chop wood or relate to animals. But there's just so many things that we can do right here, right now, that bring us into connection. And you all that I've met over the years remind me of that and have been that for me, that connection. So thank you. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful month of December. Happy holidays. I, again, love and appreciate you all so much. Have a wonderful month. Happy holidays, you guys. I cannot wait to see you next month, or sooner, for the dailies, the weeklies, etc. I love you, lows. Take care. Peace out.